Hi friends! Today we're going to talk about something super important. What it means to be transgender.
What? What the f? If you're unfamiliar with Lilly Contino, she's a trans food critic.
I'm a transgender food critic.
Who's also a trans food critic.
I'm a transgender food critic. I'm a transgender food critic. I'm a transgender food critic.
But also a trans food critic.
I'm a transgender food critic.
Who has landed themselves in some hot water.
And if I could save one person who may be a victim in the future, that'd be great with me.
For what, you might ask? Could it be her belief in that Kurt Cobain was trans?
I bet you didn't know that Kurt Cobain was probably trans. Here's why. First off, Kurt wore a lot of women's clothing. And when asked about this, they replied that they wore dresses all the time because they felt comfortable and free.
Or maybe her discussing bottom surgery while at Disneyland surrounded by kids.
I'm gonna get banned from Disney. I swear, we're about to get banned from Disney. Last summer, I got my cake pops removed, and the plan up until recently was to get my marshmallow wand reconfigured into a marshmallow tunnel. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago, I noticed some hair regrowth on my marshmallow wand. That's bad because the outside of the wand is what becomes the inside of the tunnel. So you don't want hair growing there or else it's very uncomfortable. Obviously disappointing because I was really excited to have a marshmallow tunnel sooner. That being said, it is still happening. We're just not sure when it's happening. Hair removal is a fickle thing and it's really hard to predict when it will finish. But my hair removal technician thinks it will be before the end of the year. So, fingers crossed. Oh, look. My mom's here, by the way. The marshmallow tunnel.
Dressed up like Smeagol cosplaying as Minnie Mouse. Seriously, the fact that you can hear kids laughing in the background has opened us up to a new level of Vival.
Because he's evil!
Now, this trans food critic has been caught out for what seems to be an overly eager to collab with a fellow trans creator called Colleen.
A few weeks ago, Lilly Tino tried to coerce me into having sex with her using her status as a trans influencer with my wife sitting right next to me. I was first introduced to Lilly by my wife, who was a member of her Discord server, and she would always tell me about all the hate Lilly would get, and I eventually just had a soft spot and was like, hey, let me contact Lilly because I understand how bad it can feel to have the hate mob on you as a trans influencer. And then cut to a few weeks ago, Lilly messaged me with the idea of, do you want to go on a work trip with me to Las Vegas? And I tell her immediately no, because I'm on a Canadian work permit, and the moment I leave Canada, it goes null and void. It's not good anymore. But then we hopped on a Discord video chat, and she was still really insistent on wanting me to get to the US ASAP so we could meet together. She really wanted to know the nitty-gritty of why I couldn't currently come to the US. Meanwhile, I'm just wondering, why is she so urgent about this? Then she just pops out with a bait and switch of, oh, I wanted to actually go to Las Vegas to do OF content together. My wife is sitting literally right next to me. Lilly is fully aware of my wife JC and how we're together and how we're monogamous. I never hinted to Lilly that I was interested in anything like that, and I'm wondering why she assumed I would just agree to it immediately if borders weren't an issue, because no, I would not have agreed to that under any circumstances. We didn't have that kind of relationship at all, me and Lilly. So after our call, I'm just sitting there very exhausted, wondering, why do I feel so bothered right now? And I think about it over and over and over again. And I asked JC, did Lilly just really harass me? It's like, I don't know. Like, if I could get you to imagine this, it's like if you had a coworker and they just randomly ask this to you. That's how it feels. It's very inappropriate. And listen, I have an OF too, and I have plenty of friends that have OFs too. But the thing is, collabs usually don't work this way. There's always a mutual respect there, and they both already know before the pitch even happens that both parties are even open to a collab. I never did a collab with another trans influencer, so I don't know why she would even get that idea. But for me, this just feels like Lilly does not know boundaries at all, and sex is just a toy to her.
Now, after her initial call out, Colleen came out with another video going further in depth about the way Lilly tried to force the matter.
Hi, sorry it took so long, but I had to really gather my thoughts because when I uploaded my video yesterday, Lilly Tino decided to react to it on her live stream. She ended up sicking her entire fan base on me, which was not very nice, but I'm ready. I have receipts. When she first messaged me to pitch her idea to go to Vegas, she wanted to basically pitch it as a fun girls trip. And I was friendly about it, but I also made sure she knew that, hey, listen, I cannot go to the US right now because I'm trying to get my permanent residence here in Canada. And if I leave, the whole process gets halted. It's a whole big thing. I can't do it. And she's known about this for months, by the way. Anyway, she wanted to go on a Discord call, and I agreed, and I had JC sit right next to me because her name was brought up, and she pushed me again for more details on why I couldn't come to the US, and she also wanted an exact timeline of when she thought I would be able to do it. And I said probably 8 months or so, but I thought it was weird to even ask. And suddenly the subject changed to her wanting to actually collab with me. And my innocent mind thinks, oh, she probably just means like TikTok or Instagram, right? Because I've told her before that OF is like such a small part of my life. I post like the bare minimum like once a week. I don't do anything crazy. It's very soft core, I'm not gonna lie. And TikTok and Instagram are pretty much my main focus. And I answer her pitch of wanting to collab, and I basically just say, no, because I kind of like working alone. But then I feel like she wasn't even listening to anything I was saying there, because she was actually like, oh, no. I mean, I was thinking of an OF collab. And this is where I have a lot more information. Lilly wanted me to go to this place in Vegas where a company named QueerCrush, who she met at a Pride event in San Francisco, were setting up sets and cameras to film professional looking porn. She even sent me a link to the website right here while we were talking. And I didn't take a look at the link until like yesterday, but I checked it yesterday, and the kind of stuff that they're filming is very much hardcore. It is very much out of my comfort zone, and I think Lilly knew that. Lilly went on to mention how it would benefit us both financially, which I call BS on that part because I'm much more successful on that platform than her, no offense. And right after she pitched us doing an OF collab, I immediately reminded her that I was monogamous. This is not even mentioning the fact that I have had a feeling that Lilly's had a crush on me for quite a while. She would always comment on every single one of my pictures with hearts. And what kind of confirmed this to me was the fact that her Plan B influencer that is now apparently currently going with her to Las Vegas, Lilly has told us in Discord plenty of times that she's had a crush on her and that she used to subscribe to her own fans before they even started talking. And now she's suddenly going to Vegas, which is interesting because Lilly reached out to her and now she's invited her to do this thing with her. I know she's probably gonna just brush this off like she didn't do anything wrong, but it felt so wrong because I met her and I talked to her under the guise that I was basically friend/mentor to her. And she completely neglected that and just saw me as dollar signs and a piece of meat. Sorry, I forgot one thing. So before I even went public with this, I got JC to message Lilly for me, telling her how upset I was and how I didn't even want to be around. And JC did mention the OF part. So this kind of confirms that Lilly does know about that if she ever tries to deny it again, which she did. Her apology was really just like, yeah, it was just for work. But no, I know that wasn't the case.
Lilly has since responded to these accusations and painted the light that it's not really how Colleen describes it, and it's all being blown out of proportion.
I'd like to start with some context about Colleen and I's relationship before all this happened. So last April, I was going through a really tough time, something that actually I learned Colleen had also gone through before. She reached out, was really supportive, really nice, and honestly, her support was one of the reasons that I was able to pick myself back up and start creating again. From there, Colleen and her partner were super involved in our community. It was great to have them. Over time, we became friends. And like any friend, I would always post something nice in the comment section. I didn't have a crush on her. I was just a friend from the fan section saying, go Colleen. Now, independent of Colleen, I recently decided to start making a new kind of content. One of the things that I thought would be helpful to kickstart that effort would be to collaborate with people in the same space. Colleen is in that space. For the record, collaborations are super common among any kind of social media creator, be it this kind of content or other kinds of content. I'd encourage you to think about all the times you've seen two content creators come together to partner on a video. It happens all the time. And since I've been wanting to go to Vegas a lot on my own, I figured it would be cool, 2 birds with 1 stone, get a couple friends, go down, do fun stuff, and also make it a little more worth our while, do some collaboration on content. Colleen seemed like a good person to ask because she already does this kind of content for a living, so I didn't think it was an out of left field ask to say, hey, this thing that you do for work, I'm starting to do it too. what if we partnered up for a thing? Not to mention, I thought her content was awesome and I really admired her for it, and I would have loved a chance to collaborate with her. Now, Colleen contradicts herself a couple of times over the course of her videos. In the first one, she talks about how we were discussing Las Vegas in the chat before I brought it up to her on the video call. That's not true. And in her second video, she contradicts it by saying that I brought it up to her for the first time on our video call. That's true. On that video call, I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you, me, and your partner, and by the way, her partner was there for this. It was all three of us. I said, wouldn't it be cool if me, you, and your partner had a fun trip to Las Vegas? We'll do the Sphere. I want to go to a Mega Mart, maybe see a couple shows. It'll be super fun. And while we're there, it would be cool for us to film some content because ultimately I'm starting to make more content. I like your content. It would be cool for us to part. Colleen immediately said, actually, I'm monogamous. Now, to be clear, as soon as she said no, I said, okay, no problem. And we moved on. Colleen in her videos has made it out to be like I dragged it on, like I was pushing her and pulling her and trying to get her to do this collaboration, when in reality, all I said was, okay, no problem, totally fine. At that very moment, my internal monologue was, okay, Colleen doesn't want to do this. Who else would want to do this? And I moved on from the situation entirely. I didn't know that this was something that bothered Colleen or her partner. They did not tell me that it bothered them until weeks later when I received a DM from her partner, which Colleen also mentioned in her video. I immediately apologized over Discord message. I never got a response, and the next day they posted the video. Now, Colleen talked a lot about our conversation on her citizenship. Colleen is an American citizen who lives in Canada currently and is working towards her Canadian citizenship. She told me that she can't leave Canada right now because that would interfere with her Canadian citizenship. I, as her friend, was just curious why that was. It sounds like Colleen interpreted that as me trying to push and pull her towards this content, when in reality, I wasn't even thinking about Las Vegas anymore. I wish I could show you the video call to prove what I'm saying, but sadly, Discord doesn't store any video calls on their end. To recap, I never had a crush on Colleen. I saw her as a friend. I asked her if she and her partner wanted to come to Vegas. She said no. I said okay and moved on. This whole situation is something out of nothing. And the saddest thing is that people will believe what she's saying just because they don't like me and they want it to be true. I would have much rather dealt with this personally, one-on-one, but she didn't allow for that to happen. So here I am. Speaking my piece.
Now, Colleen responds to this video and continues to bring her receipts.
And if you're wondering why it took me so long to even respond to that, I'll get to that in a second. But here's quickly why her response was just laughably bad. Lilly failed to mention that she led me into a Discord call under false pretenses when her real motives were to film porn with me. If she were upfront, I would have said no immediately. She didn't mention that I said no or I can't 3 different times, and even after that, even after I said no to doing porn, she still sent me a link to the porn studio and said it would be mutually beneficial. The entire video, she didn't even mention OF or even spicy content once. Instead, she mentioned it as a different kind of content.
I recently decided to start making a new kind of content.
And was very nonchalant about saying it was normal for content creators to collab, which is true for something like TikTok, but is much more sensitive when we're talking about making literal porn.
For the record, collaborations are super common among any kind of social media creator, be it this kind of content or other kinds of content.
And this one shocked me. She edited the word OF out of her screenshot, the one that I actually posted to my video itself uncensored.
I received a DM from her partner, which Colleen also mentioned in her video.
And she'll probably say it's for TikTok terms of service, but here, let me just put that message on the screen and watch nothing happen to this video. Lilly was trying to sanitize the entire situation to make herself seem innocent. Like, I got in many comments after they come back to my video being like, oh, I didn't even know that Lilly was even talking about OF until I saw your video. And I've been frequently asked why I even went public in the first place, because Lilly had such a well-written response, right? But the reason I even went public was because I knew that immediately after I went public, Lilly would publicly act like this.
Right, and also I had no idea they were monogamous. Most trans people I know are poly. So let's say, okay, she's monogamous, and she could have just said no.
And finally, if you're wondering why I haven't responded till now, it's because the day I was going to respond last week, I was contacted by another victim named Cassie, who was tied up in this entire Vegas situation too. Her situation's very similar to mine, except for her, Lilly stalked, groomed, and refused to take no for an answer countless times, to the point where on Lilly's live streams, I was tricked because Lilly was publicly saying that she already had someone to go to Vegas with her after I said no, referencing Cassie. Turns out Cassie never said yes.
So I've been trying to say no, and she keeps pushing for it.
It was strange though, because on her TikTok lives, it sounded like you were a shoo-in to go.
Yeah, no.
One of the primary reasons that Cassie said no was because of medical reasons. Lilly would try to be like, oh, why don't you stop this medication? Why don't you stop that medication? Lilly, someone should not have to stop their medication to have sex with you. That's ridiculous and predatory.
She basically didn't believe that I was telling her that it is quite severe, to the point where I don't like traveling.
Lilly had subscribed to her OF for months prior, told people in the Discord, including me, about Cassie herself. And when Cassie was being called out by Chris Tyson on Twitter for being too trans, which I think is freaking ridiculous, Lilly swooped in all friendly, saying, come to our Discord server. We're friendly here. We'll understand you. And then not too long after, asked her to go to Vegas to do porn with her. She's been aware of you and has been following you on OF for quite a while.
That's crazy enough. She knew who I was before that day.
She talked about it. Like, she talked about it multiple times.
Oh.
In a Discord. She talked about it, yeah.
What? Oh, no. That changes everything. Why hasn't she told me that? And I even told her how this happens to me all the time. Like, people, I'll meet like a set of friends, right? And then the second one of them gets me alone, they go, hey, so, I actually watch your content. And then I'm like, oh, so you're trying to fuck. and it's so often, and I'm like, oh, this is the exact same, but it's the first time it's happened to me with someone like Lilly.
I honestly hate to think what could have happened to either one of us if we did agree to go to Las Vegas with Lilly, and just because me and Cassie are trans sex workers, it does not mean we do not deserve respect or boundaries, and Lilly decided to break all of those for both of us because she wanted to have sex with us.
She goes further on to try and muddy the water by accusing Colleen of racism.
Person Colleen is. You can of course see the full proof in my bio, but let's just say that Colleen, formerly known as Robin, has some racist skeletons in her closet that she doesn't want you to know about. And look, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm loud, I'm annoying sometimes, I'm stubborn, but the people you really want to worry about are the ones that are pushing this biased narrative to begin with. And if you don't believe me, look at the link in my bio.
Now that's exactly how you respond to accusations of being a sexual predator. You're a sexual predator. Oh yeah? Well, you're a racist. Get 'em, Twitter. But unfortunately for Lilly, Twitter just couldn't cancel Colleen before she responded.
Our final response has come from the top rope as Colleen claps back the next day and really throws out a haymaker.
Fucking tired of this. I'm not even going to address the fact that Lilly said that I recorded Cassie without her permission, because Cassie's going to come out with her own video saying completely otherwise. She completely lied about that. And most of Lilly's video was just talking about how Cassie was coming on very strong or whatever bullshit, which is wrong, because just because someone is being nice to you and that's their way of talking does not mean you can keep going and going and going, trying to push someone to come over fucking seas so you could have sex with them. And lastly, she called me racist. But since we're bringing up my apparent past, how about your real past? How about the time when you were bragging about sex assaulting a 3-year-old back when you were kids, playing doctor and touching her? How about the fact you literally said the N-word on camera and haven't addressed it? Or how about the fact you defended blackface? Like, what the fuck? I don't know how this person is just this fucked in the head. Honestly, you are a huge piece of shit, using people's insecurities, sexually harassing people. You are a predator.
Now this haymaker was so strong, it managed to knock out the supposed proof from Lilly's bio and erased Lilly's response video to Colleen. Now you can't think this gets any worse. Well, you'd be wrong. Remember the company Lilly talked about wanting to collaborate for? Yeah, they reached out to Colleen and had some tea of their own to drop.
Hello, Colleen. This is Electra Ray, the founder and director of QueerCrush. I wanted to reach out to you regarding the lillytino situation. To provide some clarity, we did not ever have a scene scheduled with Lilly, and in fact, she never actually applied to work with us. She approached our social media coordinator at a Pride event and expressed their interest and was told to apply via the website. She then DM'd our Instagram and was again told to apply via the website. She did not ever apply and therefore was never considered and never reached the stage where we researched the applicant or discussed partner selections. Additionally, we would never book a scene without talking directly with all parties in advance. We all have a form that all performers are required to individually fill out during the scheduling process before they ever get set. This survey collects info on limits and boundaries, language they do or don't want used to describe them, and info on things they do enjoy and may want to do in their scene as well. Because our entire site is about folks only doing things they actually enjoy, and we never tell people what to do, this step is a crucial part of our planning process. We would never book a model who wasn't explicitly interested in working with us and hadn't provided information on their comfort and desires in advance. On behalf of myself and my company, we want to extend our deepest apologies and sympathies for what you are going through, and want you to know that we absolutely support you in speaking up and protecting your boundaries.
It would seem Lilly had little more than hopes and dreams when it came to working with QueerCrush, considering that she never even filled out an application. But things continue to snowball for this trans food critic,
Transgender?
as the tea continued to spill, with Cassie commenting under Lilly's response video with some more accusations.
Saying things such as Lilly is committing sexual crimes against minors, exposing yourself to minors is effing disgusting. To which, let's be real, Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming. She follows this up by doing her best Dogpack 404 impression. You didn't say what I wanted you to say, so I cherry-picked info to make you look bad. Now, should I leak the literal crimes you're committing?
Also trying to save some things for when Mr. Beast responds.
What is it with people admitting to having knowledge of sexual crimes and yet requiring some sort of threshold to reveal them to the general public, especially when it comes to kids? Now, what Cassie may be alluding to is the fact that Lilly does have very questionable videos on her Instagram, along with outfits she wears on her livestream, where there's no way to regulate the age of viewers. Not to mention, she has a Discord. Oh no.
These claims on their own don't have weight behind them, as no proof has been given to support them. Though, if we look back on Lilly's employment while going by Nick, we see multiple occasions where he was around kids from 2015 to 2018. From substitute teacher to after-school director, going into game development, and eventually streaming as a food critic.
Lillytino just broke the internet by cosplaying as Miss Rachel, and it's got everyone talking.
Hi, friends.
Miss Rachel is all about fun, kid-friendly vibes.
Only time will tell if further accusations or even victims come forward against Lilly, but for now it seems she'll continue to be her bully victim self.
It is a knife in the gut when I get called sir. I feel like I need to tell him. I need to tell him that hurt. It hurts more though when it's not intentional, because it means like this is sir to him.
Someone so eager to be offended as being trans has become her whole identity. And much like the vegans, she's gonna let you know.
I'm transgender.